What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of The Vibrant Truth. Now, I couldn't come up with a title for this episode, so it says just chatting about life. Quick shout out to sponsors, Uh Made to Stand Out. I want to thank you for sponsoring me. Swift Lifestyles. Appreciate your sponsorship. Great companies. You guys should go check them out. Made to Stand Out. Swift Lifestyles. So, here we go. Here we go. Chatting about life, right? So, everyone who's ever watched, everyone that's ever watched my show knows what I'm about. Knows when I say, uh, knows when I say, I'm trying to put this perfect, perfect, perfect terminology. Knows when I say just chatting about life, some crazy stuff is gonna come out my mouth, right? So, okay. So let's start with the obvious. Okay, let's start with the gaming world. We're gonna start at the gaming world and work our way back or forward, however you perceive it to be. So here we go, right? So the gaming world, it's really, really I don't want to say cutthroat, but it's really, really political, right? Especially when you're involved in things like RP, right? So let's talk about the RP world real fast, really quick. So the RP world has an owner. Hey, say Siam Sai. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I apologize. So the RP world, right, is simply like this. You have a server, you have an owner, right? You have a server owner, you have admins, you have moderators, you have all this other stuff, right? Okay. So there's rules as well as is rules to everything. I get that. But then you have the you can't do this and you can't do that as server participants. But then the owner and the admin staff can do exactly what the rules say that other participants can't do. So, which is understandable, right? It's understandable. If you're an owner or you're a boss or whatever, you want certain perks. That's all fine and dandy. But when asked about it and you say it's to understand both sides or it's a perk for all the hard work that the staff does. Come on, bro. So, these comments are directed to none other than, and my show is called Vibrant Truth for a reason because I have no problem naming people. So, these comments are directed to no one but Mr. White Rhino himself. So, he was asked about why him and his staff can have a police and crime character. And his explanation was to understand both sides. Eh, I don't know. I don't know if that would help you understand the side of a criminal if you're a cop, and understand the side of a cop if you're a criminal. But I digress, right? So, in that aspect, we was an MC. Decided MC was boring, wanted to change into a different crew. So we did, you know, did new characters and stuff or whatever. Then people started complaining about we was a new crew and we had all these cars and all this money and instead of Mr. Rhino being political and doing his due diligence and saying, hey, maybe you guys can scale it down a little bit. No, he goes off the reports. He approaches one of us. He deletes that person's character, take the money. We leave. We all leave to a different server. Now, here's the kicker. That person that got in trouble went back. Not really saying I buy his reasons for going back, but he went back. Nonetheless, in my eyes, it's pretty effed up, right? Because we all took a bullet for you, left the server, only for you to come back. Why? Why? I mean, honestly, I don't get it personally. But yeah, that's what happened. So now so now we're in the given times of our new city or whatever, having a good time. But one thing I will not and I cannot agree with is the favoritism. The I can do it because I'm this level, but you can't do it. Okay, everyone should be on the same level. Okay? So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Why? What's going on, Chevy? Why would you think that people will stay on your server when you give bullshit answers like that, right? One went back, one surely went back, but that's another story. So basically what I'm trying to say is to be a successful server owner, you gotta have the same rules for everyone. Okay, if you want to give yourself and your staff perks, don't let it be, oh, they can have more than one character, or they can have a cop character and a crim character, but the people of the city can't. Do something that's not gonna affect us. They can have a certain car. They can live longer. They can take more damage. They can do something. Do something like that. What's up, Bones? But that's enough of the RP talk. Let's get down to serious business, brass tacks. Let's start chopping away at the bit and getting some real page turner topics going on here. So, for those of you who follow me on social media, Facebook to be exact, you've been seeing quotes that I've been putting up or whatever. I wouldn't call them inspirational quotes. I wouldn't call it inspirational quotes, but I will call them real life fact quotes, right? So let's get down into it. So it seems as in today's age, and this episode is going to piss some people off. I already know it. I'm already prepared for the backlash. But it seems like in today's age, people can say things And I'm going to try not to curse so much because of sponsors and everything. But if I slip up, sponsors, I apologize. Seems like people can say things nowadays and their actions show differently, right? So you can say one thing and your actions show something else. But then when you react to the actions, people expect you to remember their words when their words don't match up to their actions. So basically, what they're saying is believe what I say, not what I do. And it really doesn't work like that, right? So basically, what's going on here is simply this, right? Everyone's been watching my posts that follow me on Facebook, right? So for those of you who don't follow me on Facebook, I'm just going to paraphrase all of the quotes I've been putting up there. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. If people want to be around you, they're going to be around you. If people care about you, they're going to show that they care about you. They're not just going to tell you they care about you. They're not going to sit here and say you're important and not show you that you're important. If someone's showing you that they're more important to themselves than you are to them, then it's time for you to move on. No matter how you do it, it's time for you to move on, right? But then, in all reality and all retrospect, when you do start to move on and you do start to worry about yourself and you do start to do things that's best for you, then they're angry. Then they're pissed off. Then it's you're an asshole or you don't care about me. You're just like everyone else. Every action gets a reaction, right? So I'm the type of guy where, like I said before, I live it, I say it. It doesn't really matter how you treat me. If I'm with you and you need me, I'm going to be there. It doesn't matter how bad you treat me. That's how I've always been. Is it something I wish I wasn't? Yes, I do. And I'm working on that. But here's the thing, right? If something's done, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to generalize it. I'm just going to say it for what it is. It seems like nowadays most females can do what they want, when they want, how they want, whenever they want, and expect the men to be fine with it, right? But then when the man gets tired and says fuck it and starts living his life and starts doing what's best for him, then it's you're being weird. You're being sketchy. You're doing this on purpose to try to get a reaction. You're doing that to get a reaction. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. Why? Why does it have to be like that? If you're doing what you're doing for you to better yourself, to give yourself positivity, why? Why do you care what that guy is finally starting to do to give himself positivity? And the fact of the matter is, I don't get why people say, hey, I'm a female, I can do what I want, right? So then when the man starts doing whatever he wants to do for himself, not even trying to be malicious, but just doing what's right for him, it's you're doing this, you're doing that, and blah, blah, blah. Why can't we just be honest with each other? And when I say be honest, I mean simply this: if you still love someone, tell them, I still love you, but I don't think we could be together right now. Don't wait until you get in an argument. Don't wait until some shit pops up that's found out that you did to look at the person and be like, I love you, but we can't be together right now. I have to do what's right for me. Because then it's just going to sound like bullshit. Then it's just going to sound like you're just saying it just to say it, right? So at the same time, at that point, that person's not trying to hear what you're trying to say. All that's in their head is you're just saying whatever you need to say to get this conversation to stop because it makes you uncomfortable, because you don't want to talk about it, because you don't want to deal with it. I think you can perfectly converse about anything, if you're honest, you're going to get upset. You're going to be hurt. It's going to bother you. But the fact that you're being an adult and saying, hey, I'm going to do this, or this happened, it takes the argument out of everything. Now, there's people that don't believe that because they've been in situations where, oh, a person's found out something. Listen to what I'm saying. A person's found out something and it turned into an argument. Finding out and coming and telling a person exactly what should be told to the person by you in the first place is totally different. If you find something out and you approach the person, yeah, you're going to be hot because you found out from someone other than that person. And like telling a person half of a situation is not telling a person anything. Like I said, people who's going to get mad if they watch this podcast, and that's fine. I'm going to speak how I feel about situations because that's something else I don't do. I don't speak my opinions. I don't speak my emotions. Because, like I said in my previous video, guys are expected to suffer in silence. They are they are programmed, not programmed. They are assumed to be robots and not have feelings, right? So any and everything can be done to a guy, and a guy can be accepting of it. That's what society has brought us guys to, right? So what I want to know is why is it that nowadays females can do what they want when they want? And when I say do what they want when they want, I mean exactly that. Do what they want when they want. They can talk to people, date people, be with people, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And expect the guy to believe that they still love him and that there's still a place in their heart for them. But when a guy does it and a guy says they mean nothing to me, it was just something to do. Like I don't know, it was a bad decision. They don't mean nothing. Yada yada yada. They're not in my heart. You're all I want. You're all I need. It's automatic bullshit when a guy says it, automatically. But when a female does it, it's expected to be believed. Excuse me. That I don't get. Double standards, never understood it. Double standards was never with it. Now, like I said before, there's a lot of things that people do that garner a break, that garner a separation for a while. I'm not perfect. I do shit. I've done shit. Do I believe certain punishments fit the crime? No, I don't. I do believe in this day and age, the second something happens catastrophic in a relationship, the female's like, okay, we need space. In this day and age, so you could have started your relationship in 2000, 2010, 2011, 2012, whatever, and went through shit you go through now, it would have been different. It would have been like, I need to go away for a couple of days. I'll be back. You come back, you talk about it. I was wrong. You was wrong. I did this wrong. You did this wrong. How can we move on? How can we get past this? Go through that same shit in 2021. It's separation. I need to do what's right for me. I need to better myself. This is toxic. Toxic. Everything is toxic nowadays. Toxic, toxic, toxic. That's the word that's thrown around. In 2021, toxic. When is it ever toxic to argue? When has it ever been toxic to say, hey, I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't agree with what you said. I don't like how you're moving. I don't like how you're acting. I don't like how you're making me feel. When did that become toxic? That's all I want to know. Just the other night, I got told what was the words that was used. toxic vibes, right? I exude toxic vibes. So I had to break so they had to break away. First of all, the person who said that to me is very rarely ever around me. So in order for that person to come to that conclusion, I had to be talked about to that person, right? And that person drew their own conclusion based off what was told about me. And that's fine. But the problem I have now is simply that people form opinions of people based on what they're told or based on glimpses of what they see of people, right? And that's not cool. I've never been like that. People could come to me and say, this person's like this person's like that, this person's this person's that. And I'll take it under advisement. I'll 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 be on the lookout for those characteristics, but I'm gonna form my own opinion by my own eyes and my own interactions. Yep. Without getting to know them. Yep. I'm not gonna say this person didn't know me. I mean, we've been cool for a certain amount of years or whatever, but it was never like we hung out. It was never like, there was deep conversation. There was, I'm this, I'm that, I'm into this, this is how I think, this is how I feel. It was never nothing like that. It was more of a holiday interaction. They came to, mind you, my house. They came to my house for holidays because they had nowhere to go. Let's put that out there. So, pretty much, based on what was said about me, I'm toxic or I have toxic vibes. Okay? I have toxic vibes, but I'm the person that most people call when they need advice. I'm the person that most people talk to when they have no one to talk to. I'm the person that people call when they need help with something, but I'm toxic. Make that make sense to me, somebody. Somebody make that make sense to me. If I'm so toxic, why is it that people come to me for advice? And I'm not saying that a toxic person can't be wise, but a toxic person is going to be your last resort for advice. A toxic person is going to be your last resort to have contact with. But I'm toxic. And I mean, I'm not even going to lie, that shit bothers me a little bit to say that I'm toxic. Like, I may have certain toxic characteristics in certain situations at certain times, but to say that I'm toxic, it's a little fucked up. But like I said, people's gonna form their opinions based on what they know and not who you know. And that's fine. That's cool. Or whatever. This is the day and age we live in. People want to be made to feel important, but don't want to show you that you're important to them. So it's always give me, give me, give me, give me. Do, 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 do. But then when you ask for a little in return, it can't be done. It's impossible. Your feelings are not validated. And that's really what it comes down to. Every situation, every relationship, every marriage eventually always becomes one sided. Regardless if it's male one sided or female one sided, it always becomes one sided. Why? Because that one partner always gets comfortable. Because the other partner is always, how can I explain it? Has anyone ever heard of the 80-20 rule, right? So one partner is always given 80, the other partner is always given 20, right? So if that partner that's given 80 all the time, it's going to become one-sided because that partner's going to start saying, well, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. I'm here, I'm there, I'm there, I'm here, I'm here. And they're going to start saying, well, I'm the one making this relationship go. So I can do this, I can do that. My feelings matter more than this, than my partner's because my partner's this, my partner's that, blah, 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 right? So then you take that 80-20 and you take it out the relationship, right? So you have your 80% invested in this relationship, right? But then you're like, I'm tired of this shit. And you go start fucking with someone else. That's the 20, right? So this 20 looks shiny. It looks great. It's refreshing. It's something new. It's something that's invigorated you. It's something that's hopeful, right? But then that 20 starts fucking up. Worse than the 80 did. So now you're sitting here with this 20 and you're like, fuck, what did I do? What did I do? How can I fix this? How can I fix this? Then you go back over to the 80. Now, in most cases, the 80 is that much in love or have that much feelings. They're going to say, okay, you can come back. In most cases. But over time, when you separate and you separate and you separate and you separate, that 80 starts to lose interest, starts to lose feelings, start to lose emotions, right? So you come back over to that 80 from that 20 because that 20 fucked up. That 20 ruined your life. That 20 brought you lower than you ever was with the 80. You come back to that 80 and that 80 looks at you and says, I'm past this. You did this to me one too many times. Or you did this to me once. How do I know you're not going to do this again? I can't go through it again. Now you're sitting there fucked up saying, damn, what did I do? I fucked up. Instead of just talking to the 80 and trying to figure this out. Right? So now you're hating this 80 because you did something that you shouldn't have done. That 20 was nice and shiny, and you thought you'll have a better life with that 20. So now you're hating the 80 because the 80 is telling you, I'm not going to accept the fact that you're coming back because your life is more fucked up than it was before. I'm not going to accept that fact. You're coming back for every other reason besides the fact that you wanted to come back. Right? So now that 80 is an asshole. That 80 is a piece of shit. That 80 is just like every other person you've ever been with. That 80's never cared about you. That 80's never loved you. When in all retrospect, if you sit down and look at it, it was you that said, I don't love you no more, 80. It was you that said 20 is better. It was you that looked at 20 and said 20 is shiny, 20 is new, 20 is invigorating. 20 was in the honeymoon phase where 20 was taking you out and 20 was buying you things and 20 was making you feel special. But was 20 there when you needed them? Was 20 there when shit got rough and you didn't know what to do? Who did you call? The 80. You didn't call the 20. You called the 80. And then once that 80 smartened up and said, hey, I can do better. I know I fucked up, but I'm a great person. I'm going to find someone who sees that in me. I'm going to find someone that's going to go through the hard times with me. I'm going to find someone who goes through the rough times with me. I'm going to find someone that talks to me when I get in my toxic ways and figure out what's going on with me mentally and emotionally. We got to figure out exactly what we want in life, right? So you can meet someone and be madly in love. But that's the problem with love. You never really know if someone's really in love with you, right? They can say it, they can act it, they can live it every day until they get tired of pretending. Then the real them comes out, right? So that's the problem with love. You never know who's being real and who's being fake. Now, if you're a believer in astrology, you would know when it comes to love, emotions, and feelings, Pisces are very bad at that, right? Because Pisces wear their heart on their sleeve. If we fuck with you, we fuck with you. 100%. There ain't no pretending. There ain't no games. There ain't no maybe. There ain't no okay, I'm just testing you out. If we say we have feelings for you, we say we love you, we say we want you, that's what it is. It's a fucked up quality to have as a Pisces, but it's a quality we have, right? But the only fucked up thing about Pisces is simply this. When you hurt them and you scar them, they become brutal. Like brutal. And when I say brutal, I'm not talking about brutal like violent brutal. I'm talking about like their emotions shut the fuck down for a very long time. So you can meet a person or whatever and they fall head over heels for you. You will not give two fucks about them because you've been hurt already. You will not give another person a chance to make you feel what the previous person made you feel. That's one of the bad parts about Pisces. One of the real bad parts about Pisces. But it's how we are. But at the same time, but at the same time, people want to judge people without knowing the whole story, without knowing why they're acting the way they're acting, or why they're thinking the way they're thinking, or why they feel the way they feel. There's three sides to every story: their side, your side, and the truth, because no one's going to tell the full truth. No one never really tells the full truth. Someone always leaves something out or adds something in. So no one really tells the whole truth. But there's one person that's going to tell more of the truth than the other person. Right? So you can go and do whatever, be whatever, say whatever. But when it really comes down to it, no one really knows your heart but you, right? So you could tell a person you love them. You could tell a person you care about them. You could tell a person you want them. You could tell a person there's no one else out there for you. But how do you know? Because the only person that knows your head and your heart is yourself. So you don't know if someone's lying to you or if they're telling the truth, which is so fucked up because you can meet that person that would really do anything for you, that would really, really stick it out with you. But because you've been damaged time and time again, you're going to miss out on that person eventually because you're always going to be in your head saying, I've heard this before. I've been here before. I've been in a situation before. This feels familiar. And it came out fucked up. That's that's what happens. And the fact of the matter is simply this. You do not want to be like that, right? But because people's fucked you up so many times, you sit here and you ask yourself, is it even really worth it anymore? Is it worth getting to know somebody? Is it worth risking getting hurt again? Is it worth risking putting your heart out there and potentially going through the same thing over and over and over again? Right? So people people tend to make this about a certain sex. It's not about a certain sex. It's about men versus women, right? Because that's what it's coming down to. Back in the day, men was doing their thing, wasn't caring. You know, they see a girl, they like the girl, they hollered at a girl. Didn't matter if they was married or had a girlfriend, right? Nowadays, it's females. They see a guy, they like a guy, they holler at a guy. Don't care if they have a boyfriend or if they have a husband or whatever, right? Now, understand something. Boyfriend and husband's two different levels, right? You can go through shit with a boyfriend. Say, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm out. Cool. No problem. A husband, you go through shit with the husband. You're supposed to do any and everything with that husband because you took vows. Okay? And when I say any and everything, I'm talking about talking, like conversations, talking once, twice, three times. I believe in the three strike rule, right? You have a conversation with your husband or your wife three times about the same thing, then maybe it's time you start thinking that maybe we need to call it quits. But to go through shit and just breeze by a conversation afterwards I can't do this. This is toxic. We have to separate. You're married. What the fuck you mean? There was no real conversation. There was no real intervention. There was no how do we move past this. There was no what did I do to get us here. There was no what did you do to get us here. There was no what can we do different to never get here again. Never no conversation like that. But you go right to separate. You go right to I need to do me and you need to do you. But the thing is, the one thing about Pisces is we do not look back. So you push us to do us, and we do us. And like I said, we wear our hearts on our sleeve. Yes, we do. But we also know how to make people feel what we felt. And I'm just gonna be completely honest. So if I feel like I've been fucked over so many times unfairly, yeah, I may meet somebody that I like. I may meet somebody that end up having feelings for. But trust and believe, I will get them before they get me because I've been fucked over so many times. So if I see signs that looks familiar to me, if I'm in situations that feels familiar to me, I'm going to react before they get a chance to react. That's just how it is. That's just how I am. Do I bring baggage from previous relationships into new ones? No. Do I keep memories from old relationships and bring them into new ones? Yes. You want to know why? Because it takes a very long time to earn my trust when it comes to relationships. So if I'm in a situation where it feels familiar, or I'm in a situation where I hear familiar shit right before shit goes down, yeah, I'm gonna make you feel everything I felt in the previous relationship before you make me feel it. Because there's no way in hell that I'm gonna go into a new relationship and get fucked over again for no reason like I did in my previous relationship. Now, like I said before, I understand I do things. I understand I'm hard to be around sometimes. I'm hard to deal with. I'm even hard to talk to at times. But under no circumstances do I feel like I should be abandoned in some way, shape, or form. Like no one deserves to be abandoned, right? So I believe in if you're not compatible as a couple, you're almost always compatible as friends, right? But now these people nowadays, once they break, they break. They don't want to be friends. They don't want to be civil or nothing. And I can understand maybe because, it's painful to see the person. It's painful to talk to the person. It's painful to think about the person, right? That's fine. But when you talk about 5, 10 years, 15 years, whatever, and you don't want to deal with the person, you don't want to talk to the person, you don't want to be around the person, I think something's wrong with that personally. Because we're all compatible to be civil to each other. We're all compatible to at least be acquaintances, if not friends, right? So it may take some time, but I think you can always end up being friends. And I'm going to be honest and say that I'm friends with one or two. Well, I was civil with one, two, three, four, my exes, whatever. What's going on, Redbeard? But the fact of the matter is simply this. Black Guy, what's going on, my guy? The idea is simply this. If someone's showing you who they are, believe it. If someone's showing you that you don't mean shit to them and they're gonna do what they need to do for them to make themselves happy, believe it. I, for one, am not a person that believes in being harsh to people or being rude to people, but I will tell you this: I am a person that believes people's actions. So if you're showing me that you can give two shits about me, if you're showing me that I'm an option when I'm making you a priority, then guess what? You're going to become an option, just like you made me an option. If you're going to put me second, I'm going to put you last. People are ruthless nowadays. COVID was supposed to teach us a lesson, and it did nothing at all except make us hateful. That's true. That's 100% true. That's true. If you text me, I'm going to text you. If you call me, I'm going to call you. But like I said before, if you make me second, I'm going to make you last. And a lot of the people that met me now don't really know about the guy that I was before. What I just said is how I was before. I changed a lot as I got older, as I had my son, as I moved back out here to New York with my wife. I changed a lot. So I could be a different guy. So I could be a guy that my son looked up to in a positive way. So I could be a guy that I can say to him, hey, listen, this is how you got to live life. This is how you got to treat people. But more and more every day, I'm starting to see that the guy that I changed it into is not the guy that I need to be anymore. People want me to go back to the guy I used to be. People want me to go back to matching energy. And that's perfectly fine with me. I can match the energy you give me very well. I'm very good at it. So if you show me you don't give a fuck, I can show you I don't give a fuck way better than you can. If you want to sit here and use me as an option and use me as a layup, I'm going to use you as a rebound. There's no way in hell that anybody that's around me now can handle the guy that I used to be before. And I'm just being 100% honest. So, with that being said, I like to think I'm a great dude. I like to think I'm a good dude. But it seems like people don't like good dudes anymore. People don't like good guys. People don't like guys that have hearts. People don't like guys that put people before themselves. So what's your alternative? You go back to the guy you used to be, right? Thanks for the biddies, Redbeard. You go back to who you used to be, right? You go back to what was getting you further. You go back to when you was happy. You go back to when, you know, you was able to be level headed and think about shit logically, right? But then going back to that person was a single person. That person didn't have a child. That person didn't have certain responsibilities he has now. It's the narrative nowadays, man. People don't like change, even if it's within people you fuck with. 100% true. So it's like, okay, you're at a crossroads now because if you go back to the way you used to be, I know if I go back to the way I used to be 100%, I'm not going to be a positive role model for my son. I already know it. I already know it because I didn't care about nobody else back in the day. There was three people I cared about back in the day. That was my mom, my older sister, and my grandmother. They're all gone. So honestly, if I went back to that guy, there wouldn't be a soul in this world that I would care if I hurt their feelings. I would care how they felt about what I said. I would care about how they felt, how I act. When I was single, my brother can attest to this. I was a fucking punk. I got married, joined the military, and I mellowed out a lot. I guess I got issues with anger and shit like that. But if I were single, I would know that would be a statistic to the legal system. 100%. So will I. So I would have too. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been to jail. I've been to jail once. It wasn't for me. Yeah, I did shit, but I never got caught. I went to jail because I took the rap for who I thought was a homeboy of mine. I didn't even do the shit. I didn't even commit a crime. So I have a record for no reason, pretty much, because I thought if roles were reversed, he would do the same for me. Nope, not the case. So I have a record for something I didn't do because I was trying to be a real friend. And I know some people will say, hey, that's not being a friend, that's being stupid. Going to jail doesn't make you a bad person. It's how you handle yourself outside of jail. That's true. I know some people will say that's not being a friend, that's being stupid. Maybe it was. Hindsight's 2020. But where I was brought up and the way I was raised is, you never snitch. They couldn't find him, they found me. So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Yeah, I did it. It was me. Come to find out, the motherfucker knew what was happening the whole time. Had bail money in his pocket, but didn't bail me out. Why didn't he bail me out? Because the DOJ said I would be out in a week anyway. So I spent a week in jail, got trial, spent 2 months. What did you go to jail for, if you don't mind me asking? Uh, Unauthorized use of a credit card over $1,000. Oh, but that's not the worst part. After I got out of jail, they charged me with unauthorized use of a credit card. Yeah, yep. Delaware can do whatever they want to do. Honestly, they're a Commonwealth state. They can change the law day by day, and that's exactly what the fuck they did. Cool gamer kid 210. How you doing? So after I did that, I got charged with with $1,000. I had to pay restitution of 2,500. So I was locked up for $1,000, but I had to pay back 2,500. How that added up, I don't know. But yeah, it added up, and the 2 months was a suspended sentence. I was facing a year. They suspended it to 2 months and put me on probation for 7 months, for 8 months. Now that was a life lesson. Tell me how the fuck you get 9 weeks in jail for that, but you get probation for DUI. I have no idea. I have no idea. This is exactly how it went down. I got a phone call on my cell phone. I was asleep. I got a phone call on my cell phone. Cop was like, "You need to come down to the police station." I'm like, "For what?" We have a warrant to question you in a situation. I'm like, "All right, whatever." I go down there. She's asking me questions, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Now I made them angry because I'm a guy that knows the law, right? So I go in the room. I sit down. She comes in. I'm looking at her. I'm thinking she's a lawyer or some shit. So she sits down. I'm corporal, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I'm going to question you. So my first question to her was, is this an official questioning or off the records questioning? So she says, oh, no, it's official. I'm going to record it, right? write your responses down and everything. I said, so why aren't you in uniform if this is official? Like, you're not a detective, you're not a captain, so why aren't you in uniform? Oh, don't worry about that. That's. I said this cannot be official if you're not in uniform. Like, you officially cannot issue me a ticket on the road if you don't put your hat on when you get out the car. So how is this official when you have no part of your uniform on? Oh, don't worry about that. It's official. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. All right, whatever. So we go through the questioning and everything. I'm like, I don't know where this guy is at. Like, I don't know his real name. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. So they let me go. So, oh fuck. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. This is an official interrogation. The next thing you should have said was, well, this is officially over because my attorney needs to be here for this. I watch a guy on YouTube named Larry Lawton. He is the most prominent jewel thief in United States history, and he gives legal advice to people. If they ask you to speak on the record, make sure your attorney speak on the record for you. Yeah, 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 yeah. I did that after they arrested me because they caught me driving. They caught me driving and they pulled me over and it was like, there's a warrant for your arrest. So one cop was driving in front of me, one cop drove behind me, went to the police station. They arrested me and shit. I went to arraignment. Judge was like, you have anything to say? I said, lawyer. She was like, what? I said, lawyer. She's like, you don't need, I said, lawyer. So they put me in a holding cell until a public defender got down there. He was a damn good public defender, too. I won't lie. He was a damn good public defender. But then fucking when I got out and shit, that's when I started to change. This is what you see here before you today. The guy I am now. That's what started my transformation. And then what ended my transformation was me having my son. But yeah. So my transformation, I feel like, allowed certain people to think that they can do whatever they want to do to me or say whatever they want to say to me or act however they want to act towards me. But it's okay. You don't need a lawyer. She was trying to get you to self snitch without a public defender. Oh yeah, 100%. That's what that's what she was saying. She was like, you could just admit it and we can go on from here. I'm like, bro, admit what? I didn't do anything. Like, show me the video. You telling me you have video? Show me the video. Show me the video you have of me you using this card. Show it to me. Oh, I don't have to show it to you. I'm like, you're saying you have a video. You have to show it to me. No, I don't have to show it to you. I said, because you got no video. Like, what else do you want from me? Like, are we done? Like she just kept trying to get me to say I did it or I knew who did it and blah blah blah. Everything they did was illegal. But because it was a Commonwealth state, it really wasn't nothing that I can do in time before they issued the warrant. Cops aren't enforcers by law. They know the art of mindful manipulation. They use to show you evidence. They refuse to show you evidence, then say it's over and call your lawyer. Yeah, that's why they issued the warrant so quick. Like I got questioned, right? And then I think like 3 days later, I got arrested. So they issued that warrant mad quick because I got suspended from work. I forgot what the fuck I got suspended for, but I got suspended from work. I was driving home and like something was telling me to like take the back roads, and I took back roads, but I took a wrong turn and ended up in the wrong town. So yeah, Commonwealth is just a fancy way of saying we will fuck you and get away with it. Yep, pretty much, pretty much. And like, no, I'm lying. They didn't even put a warrant out for arrest. They put a bolo on my car. So whenever a cop ran the license plate, it would come up that I was wanted. So I'm like, fuck, shit. So fucking that happened. A few years after that, we left Delaware and came back here, and yeah, here I am now, and the shit I'm in now. But at the same time, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna throw people for a loop. I'm grateful I'm in the situation I'm in now because it's reminding me to never let your guard completely down. And I applaud the people that has that have a very successful relationship and all that. Yep, that's how they got me. That's exactly how they got me. I applaud the people who have successful relationships and marriages and all that stuff. Great. But this situation, the situations that I'm in, it just reminded me to never let my guard fully down ever again. And that's where I'm at now. So people gonna be upset or whatever. I gotta speak my truth somehow, some way, or whatever. Like yeah, that's just the burn of it. So now let's get back to a situation I like talking about. Fucking shitty RP owners. Hey, that's what I talk about best. So I left a message before I left the server to the owner, Mr. White Rhino. It's for you, kid. And I invited him to watch this podcast. And as you see, we are 58 minutes into the podcast, and I do not know if he's here, but that's what VODs are for, right? So here we go. You, sir, have the audacity to come at one of my community members, and I've seen the messages, I've seen the screenshot. That's what we don't do in my community. Maybe you should go back and watch another one of my videos that I did on a server. We do not attack my community members. So, here's the thing, sir. You have stated that you allow yourself and your staff to have multiple characters because it is a perk for the hard work that they do. Okay, that's cool. That's cool and all. But when asked why can't the citizens of the server have a cop and crim character, you said because it's hard to show discipline. Tell me, sir, exactly what discipline are you showing by having a cop character and a crim character? Hmm? Because if you're the same person playing two different characters, it is almost impossible to metagame unless you have more than one computer and you're playing both characters at the same time, right? So I feel that that excuse was bullshit, for one. For two, You go off reports that my crew was power gaming because we changed our characters and had money and cars that we shouldn't have had because we was a new crew. We was not a new crew, sir. We in fact just changed our crew's identity. But if you want to get technical about it, what do you call the issue when a server owner spawns extra money? What do you call the issue when a person flies into your city, unbeknownst to him, on his first day, has a gun, and you take it because you say, I'm not supposed to have a gun? Oh, yeah, I remember that. And I know it was you because y'all was within ear's distance when y'all was talking, and I heard them call your name. So we're going to get down to brass tacks here, right? You can run your server however the fuck you want to run it. That's fine. But at the same time, you cannot expect people to give you positive feedback and say you're a great server owner when questions are asked, you become a dick. When you're brought up on certain scenarios, brought up on trial, I should say, you become an asshole and become defensive. And then you want to hold meetings in your Discord, talk about we need to deepen RP, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to make the story run longer, we need to blah 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 blah. Then you want to fucking go and say 3.0 is coming out and the people that's already in here is gonna have to fill out another whitelist application. What the fuck is that? You really gonna make people that's been in the server really go through the application process again? What is that gonna prove? Huh? Not a damn thing. You know why? Because the people that's going to fill out the application know what to say on the fucking application, you moron. So they're going to say whatever they have to say to get in 3.0. And then when they get in 3.0, guess what? The RP is going to be the same. They're going to say a couple of words. They're going to take out a weapon. They're going to shoot. They're going to run. They're going to hide from the cops. And it's going to be the same shit. So you holding these meetings, sir, is pointless. You saying that your members have to reapply to get back into the server is stupid. I'm just going to 100% say it. It's stupid. Now, there might be some people that's like, oh, yeah, I agree. All right. Yeah, that's great. We can get all the shitty RP players out. Guess what, guys? Those shitty RP players, they've probably been in whitelisted servers before. It's the same copy and paste application. So if they got into whitelisted servers before, what makes y'all think that they don't know what to say on 3.0's application to get accepted? Just please explain that to me. Make that make sense. Let's not talk about an admin going OCC and not getting banned for it. But I do. I swore one too many times. Oh yeah, admins can do whatever they want. Staff can pretty much do whatever they want. And there's no repercussions for it. None. But when someone in the server does it, that's your warning. That's your warning. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'll ban your ass. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's just be fair about this, okay? I've been in a few servers, and I have to say the one that I'm in now is the best one I've been in so far. Cause Fate was a shit show. I didn't stay in Madripoor too long. Sorry about that. Blackout. Didn't. I'm not. You know. I just name drop. I'm not gonna say nothing about them yet. Um, Wired was that was a complete waste of time. So yeah. So my thing about it is simply this, and I have 6 viewers here. Five now. I have 5 viewers. If someone if someone is in contact with Mr. White Rhino, please send him an invite. I'll even put the invite link in here so someone could come in and contest my comments. Now, what I will say is going back to my other video, I will give credit to Crazy J where credit is due. That motherfucker came in here and he took whatever we threw at him. So I give him credit. I respect him for that. Now I just want Mr. Rhino to come in here and rebuttal me and tell me I don't know shit about being a server owner and I don't know how much work it takes and there has to be rules or else it won't be a successful RP server. I've been doing this for years. How many servers do you own? I want to hear all of it, honestly, because honestly I don't get the logic behind um being a cop helps you understand the criminal life and being a criminal helps you understand the cop's life. How does that make sense? But when you thought we was done, we wasn't done. I respect Jay. He may be an admin in Fate, but he came in and took the song of verbal bullets. That's true. That's true. That is true. But you thought we was done, we wasn't done. So we're gonna move away from Mr. Rhino and we're gonna talk about another person that I thought was family, that I thought was part of the community. And I apologize for all the personal shit he's going through, but the way he handled RP was complete bullshit. So now that brings me to you, Mr. Voodoo. We, as a team, decided to take the bullet with you. We was perfectly fine. We was in the clear. We was good. We was Gucci. We was fine. But as a team and as a family, we said if you go down, we go down. And that's what we did. We went down. And then what happens? Slowly and slowly, you disappear, sir. But where do we find you at? Back in the server we left. Back with Mr. White Rhino. And that's fine and dandy. Everyone has free will to do what they want, but the reason you gave is bullshit. Let's just be honest. It's bullshit. I went back because I couldn't stream this. I went back because the resolution was too great for my computer to stream. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's other shit you could have streamed in the place of RP. And I don't want to hear that's the only thing people know you by. I don't want to hear it. Bullshit. You hung us out to dry because you didn't like the server that we chose to go to. So you hung us out to dry, sir, and that's fine. But one thing you're gonna learn about me is I live up to the name Vibrant Truth. My name wasn't Bullets for no reason. So here's what I think, sir. I think you had no intention of leaving that server. I think you just wanted to get rid of the rest of us so you can run free around the city and not have to worry about a crew or doing what you had to do with a crew or getting opinions of anyone else from a crew. And then when we went to the new city, I think you was a little butthurt because you wasn't running the mafia. That's what I think. That's what it seems like. Because you was all fine and dandy the first couple of days, we was getting structure together and everything, and I'm gonna lead this up, right? Then all of a sudden, someone else takes the helm, and your presence slowly started to dwindle. Then you said, "Oh, it keeps crashing." Then in the same night, it keeps crashing. You said, "Oh, the resolution's too good for my computer. It keeps crashing. I can't stream it. I get frame loss. I get this. I get that. It doesn't work." Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And I don't want to hear later, if you watch this VOD, I don't want to hear later, oh, this was unexpected. I told you I was going to flame you. I told you. I don't hide shit. I told you this was going to happen. I said, if you don't make this right, we going to talk about it. I told you. I said, Sunday, we're going to talk about it. I told you this. So I don't want to hear anything in the Discord. I don't want to get no DMs. Why'd you do that? That was fucked up. No, it wasn't fucked up. What you did, sir, was indeed fucked up. What you did was really fucked up. Now, Mr. Rhino, you thought I was done with you? I was just taking a break. We're gonna go back to you. So, before I left his server, I was part of a voice meeting or whatever where he was talking about some event or whatever and blah blah blah. Yeah. And he went to this deep RP shit again. Like, for someone that's watching, if Redbeard or Blackout is still in here, can someone explain to me what the fuck is deep RP? Like, can someone explain that to me? What the fuck is deep RP? Like, he wanted like a 3 week episodic fucking scene or some shit. I don't fucking know. But what the fuck is deeper RP? Like, maybe I'm just stupid. Can someone explain that to me? Deeper RP. Oh, Discord's going off. Let's see. Oh, I got three. Let's see. Yeah, I get make it like lifelike, but like he gave an example, right? He said that someone robbed a convenience store and like they robbed it and the cops got there and all they did was give the cops their demands and the cops gave them everything they wanted. The cops didn't try to negotiate. The cops didn't try to talk them down and they didn't give a reason as to why they was robbing the store and shit like that. Exactly. That's what he said. He said, "You don't fight back. You don't fight back." As far as voodoo goes, I got no problem with him. Me and him are cool. We are both. That's whatever's going on between the other side. I love you both for real, for real. I don't have a problem with voodoo either. I just have a problem with the fact that he lied. Both to two people, he lied and said, "I'm not going to be in that server anymore. I'm just finishing some things up and then I'm going to leave." But he changed his clothes and he joined a crew. That's the only problem I have with him. Server problems. Nothing personal. I don't have a personal problem with him. I think he's cool personally. But what he did server wise, that was fucked up. I got into a shootout with a fucking cop in true life last night. They complimented me on the scene being played out the way it did. That's how it's fucking done. You got into a shootout with a cop? For what? Was they chasing you? What did you do? You had drugs on you, didn't you? Was it the violent cop lady? She's violent. Five cops, me, Tony broke into a house, robbed it. Tony shot first, and then had a shoot. A shootout commenced. I gotta learn how to break into a house, honestly. I gotta learn how to break into a house. But speaking of RP, not to beat a dead horse, but I kind of heard some admins left Fate. That's just what a little birdie told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard some admins left Fate. I wonder why. I think that's crazy that we can't do robberies unless there's cops on. I mean, because if you talk about real life, cops are always on in real life. Yeah, I know. But a criminal's not going to say, hey, let me see if there's a cop on before I try to rob this person or rob this place. So, like, I think that's crazy. And, like, I think it's unfair that they get an alert the second you start to do a robbery. I think it should be like, a couple of seconds into the robbery, or at least like if you're robbing a convenience store and you're trying to crack the safe, the second you start trying to crack the safe, they get a fucking alert. Like that's not fair. They need CCTVs on the ATMs and shit to make it more realistic. That's true. That is true. Shit, that's fucking. What fucking city was that? That's pretty fucking cool. Ah, well, they gotta have cool shit to make you want to come there. Excuse me. So, have a good one, Redbeard. So, how do you do YouTube gaming, anyways? Because I have a YouTube page. This is streaming to YouTube now. So, do I have to make a new page to stream like games, or can I use the page that I'm using for this to stream on YouTube? Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna start setting that up probably tomorrow. See how YouTube gaming is. Yeah, you could do that, Red. Blackout, please. Thank you. Who's still here? Three people. Let me see. Let me see who I can read. Let me see who I can read. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So, with that being said, guys, I'm gonna end the podcast here. Probably gonna fly into some RP in a little while, but yeah, I'm gonna end the podcast here. I want to thank Chevy, Bones, Redbeard, black out. Um, the people from YouTube that I can't pronounce their names, I apologize. Um, gonna try and raid somebody here. I don't know who I'm gonna raid. Let's see. Mm, Let's see if I can raid him. I'm doing the wrong thing. I do my channel. But yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. Um, I will be back Tuesday, I believe, and I'm coming back maybe Wednesday with something special for you guys. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for being here, and yeah, thank my sponsors again, Swift, Swift Lifestyles, and Made Stand Out. Yeah, Made Stand Out. So with that being said, thank you guys and have a great day. Laters.